Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to another book chat. I think I'm at a slight angle here, but I'm not going to try and move it because I just had to redo the whole video because I tried to adjust things and the whole thing fell over. um, okay, so yes, my book chat for January. This month has been really weird. It's both been really, really long, and also I don't actually feel I've been back from Tonga for a month, which yeah, I have. Okay, so first things before I get to the books that I've actually got around to reading this month, there are going to be some changes on the blog if you are watching this on the blog instead of on Facebook. I'm going to keep going with the book chats. I would love to hear if you would like me to talk about anything else, what other suggestions or ideas you might have. If you'd like me to read some short stories out loud, or maybe you can read the odd chapter of a book out loud. Mine, obviously, not someone else's. That would be kind of weird. So let me know if there's anything like that you'd like to see. As far as the blog goes, it will still be going, but I'll probably only be updating it a couple of times a month. So probably once with these book chats and once with something else. Short stories, I'm probably going to keep to the newsletter. So if you'd like to sign up for the newsletter, if you're on the blog, go down a little bit and you'll see sign up for the newsletter and you will get a little free book of Beaufort short stories. And there will be another book of short stories coming your way soon if you're already signed up. Which is to celebrate the release of Gobelino London PI, the first of his private detective adventures, which should be coming up next month. Will be coming up next month. And I'm really excited about that. So if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll have a chance to get arcs. You will get short stories as they come out because I've already got quite a lot of these on the blog. So I'm going to stop sharing them on the blog and I'll just be popping them in the newsletter every now and then. So those will be kind of like newsletter exclusives. um, Okay, so now that we know that, there'll be slightly less regular vlogs. If you want short stories, sign up for the newsletter. I will get on to what I read this month. So, actually, quite a bit of reading done. I was sick for a while, so I tend to read quite a lot when I'm sick. Yeah, and watch really bad TV. I did quite a bit of that as well. Okay, so in no particular order, because I can't remember what order I read them in. Michael Palin, Erebus. Now, you might remember that I did a book chat about The Terror by Dan Simmons, which is based on the story of the Erebus and the Terror, the boats that were locked in the ice in the Arctic for 2 years, 3 years, and nobody's entirely sure what happened to them. And I find things like that fascinating. I love stories of especially early Arctic exploration, Antarctic exploration. Endurance is one of my favourite tales. It's absolutely incredible. And this is really, really interesting. Michael Palin writes really well. Obviously, it's really well researched. And it tells the story also of the previous trip before the ones where the ships and the crew were lost, when they actually went down to the Antarctic. And I didn't even know about that, so that was really interesting reading. When it actually came to the Arctic, I kind of thought maybe we knew more about it than we did. So it's still quite a massive question mark about what exactly happened, but it's really interesting reading about how they are piecing it together, having found the wrecks now as well. So I really enjoyed that. If you like a bit of historic naval history, exploration history, that is really good. I do recommend that one. Okay, The End of the World Running Club. Sorry, I can't talk today. Adrian J. Walker. Not that that's really that unusual that I can't talk. Okay. Read the whole thing. Did enjoy it. I enjoyed the setup. I thought that the dystopian world was really, really interesting. So that side of it I really liked. The whole the running. I'm trying not to give too much away here. It was interesting. It was well done. My problem was I didn't really sympathise with the main character very much. He had quite a decent character arc, but I mean, it's told from his point of view, and he repeatedly tells us that essentially he's not a very nice guy, and it's very hard to actually have a lot of empathy for him. I found. But that was me. I may have been judging him a bit harshly. It also does depend on my frame of mind sometimes. I might have just been poorly and just impatient with people. So, yeah, well written, interesting setup, quite an interesting story. Yeah, not bad. So, Paul Torday, more than you can say. I've read a few of his now. I really enjoyed salmon fishing in the Yemen. The I've got it up there. I've forgotten the other names. The names are always a little bit odd. I've read a couple of others of his that were pretty good. This was not the best of his that I've read. It was, again, I didn't particularly connect with the main character, didn't particularly like him that much. And the story was sort of just, yeah, I didn't find that one particularly great. But there we go. Well written as always, though. And yeah, there we go. Not much more I can say about that. Okay, the Radleys, Matt Haig. Okay, this is only the second Matt Haig I've read after The Humans, which I loved so much. It was just, that was one of my favourite books ever. I think I absolutely adored it. The Radleys, I didn't enjoy it as much. It was a good story. It was well written, definitely. Essentially vampires in suburbia, including two kids that don't know they're vampires. They've been brought up as humans and to abstain, but without even realizing that they are abstaining. They just think they kind of get headaches a lot and are sort of allergic to sunlight. So it was good. I think setting it against the humans, I was expecting something really quite amazing, and maybe a little bit deeper. But it was still a good read. It was a good fun read. So there's that one. And my craft book for this month was The Successful Author Mindset by Johanna Pin. And as you can see, I found it quite useful. So this is, it's not really about the nuts and bolts of being an indie author, or being any sort of author. In fact, it is about having the mindset, how to challenge self-doubt, how to challenge imposter syndrome, how to prioritize your time and be productive, and actually have confidence that you're spending your time well when you're writing. And I found it really, really good. I really connected to a lot of it. It's definitely, she touched on a lot of things that I struggle with, and the advice is quite practical and quite sensible. Things like having a particular place where you do your writing and your editing, as opposed to where you do all the other work that's involved with around being a writer. A little bit tricky, that one, because I've been sitting on the spare bed to do it, and that's really bad for your neck when you've got the laptop on your lap. So I may have to think about that one a little bit. She goes to coffee shops, but yeah, that's people. Don't know about that one. But yeah, I really like Johanna Pin. I like her podcast as well. She has the Creative Pen podcast. And it's not just for indie authors. So if you do any sort of writing at all, she is quite fun to follow. She's very positive and upbeat, and she has a lot of experience and has been very successful. I'm now reading The Productive Author, I think it is, essentially about productivity. And yeah, I'm about halfway through that, and I think I started feeling too guilty, so I put it down and gone to be productive on something in theory. But yes, so worth reading, definitely. And yes, so that has been my reading for the month. Over on the blog, if you're not over on the blog already, I will put my normal cake and cookies, tea and cookings ratings up. And until next time, let me know what you've been reading this month. Let me know what you've really enjoyed. If you've read any of these books, what your thoughts on them are. And yeah, if there's anything in particular you'd like to see me either talk about in these videos or blog about, let me know, because I have written a lot of blog posts now and I need some ideas. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. Bye.